Welcome to the overview of gifted and talented services in Northwest ISD. The Texas State Plan for Gifted says that annually each teacher new to a district receives an orientation to the district's gifted and talented identification processes and the district's services for gifted, talented students. This video will fulfill that requirement for you. We're going to start off by looking at service design in Northwest ISD. Educators can use grouping strategies to allow gifted students access to appropriate levels of challenge and complexity. Almost any form of grouping used is going to provide an academic or achievement gain to gifted learners, as well as social and emotional gains. Grouping is really part of the foundation of gifted services because we're looking for common academic, social, and emotional needs and using that information to group students for services. Let's start with elementary. In Northwest, we have a pull-out program. Every elementary campus has a GT specialist, and she pulls the gifted learners in each grade level for a certain amount of time each week. And you can see that time allotment here. Within that pull-out time, depending on the grade level, they're doing different things. In all grade levels, they're looking at some of the social emotional pieces. They're looking at executive functioning, but they're also looking at academic needs, and the curriculum is designed so that they can really support the strengths of gifted learners and continue to grow them by using research, creative and critical thinking skills, habits of mind, depth and complexity. So every pull-out class will look a little bit different from campus to campus. Beyond GATES, we also have the ability to offer enrichment services. And enrichment can be for gifted learners, but it could also be for students with high potential who maybe they don't meet the criteria for gifted, but there is something there that they need a little bit something more than the general ed classroom. Enrichment is going to vary by campus. It's going to really be based upon the student population and their needs, the needs of the classroom teachers, the campus improvement plan and that problem of practice. And it's going to look really different. It might be small groups. It might be co-teaching. It might be modeling a lesson. It could be a math Olympiad. It could be a chess team. So it's really going to look very different, again, based on the needs of each campus. As students move from elementary to middle school, services change from that pull-out to services within the content areas. In Northwest, we are able to offer GT sections of ELA and math. So students are grouped together and the curriculum has been adjusted to meet the needs of gifted learners. For science and social studies, while we don't have GT sections, gifted learners are encouraged to enroll in the honors social studies and science classes, and those teachers should also have their 30 hours. In high school, those services continue with GT sections of English, GT sections of Geometry and Algebra 2, and then we add in some GT sections of our AP Social Studies classes. Science, we have the honors and AP course offerings as well, and we encourage gifted learners to really look at this array and think about where their passion is, where their strength is, and make their course decisions based on those things about where their strengths and passions lie. Beyond the classroom, we have a lot of different ways that gifted kids can have their needs met. School clubs, whether it's chess, yearbook, robotics, whatever the case may be. We also have academic competitions like spelling bee, UIL, Destination Imagination is something that's offered at every campus in Northwest, which is it's about collaboration and creative problem solving. We have a lot of student leadership opportunities, especially starting in upper elementary and then extending into secondary. And then, of course, we have an amazing fine arts program in Northwest, which is not a part of gifted services, but it is a way that a lot of our gifted kids get their needs met. Beyond the school year, we offer quite a few summer learning opportunities: Camp Invention, Camp Pursuit, Destination Imagination Camp, Young Scholars and Innovators Academy are just some of the things that we offer. When we're looking at services and what we offer for gifted learners, it begins with the academic piece, but the social emotional needs are a very key piece of providing services to our gifted learners. Gifted students often struggle with, things that their on level peers, but sometimes it's more intense or to a higher degree. Some things that you really see gifted students struggle with frequently are things like anxiety and perfectionism, underachievement, behavior issues, relationships with their peers. So when you see a gifted student struggling with these things, or their performance in class is raising an eyebrow, it's important to look for the root cause and to figure out, well, are they acting out because of their perfectionism or because of their anxiety? And this is a place where your GT specialist or lead GT teacher can really help you out in terms of, okay, how do we intervene and help the student be successful? Now that we've talked a little bit about service design, let's look at how do we identify students for services. So, Northwest, we offer 2 screening windows each year, once a semester. It's in all grades, and we are looking at both quantitative and qualitative data. And the GT Campus Committee will look at all of the data and determine what are the students' educational needs and can those needs be met through gifted services. When we're collecting qualitative data, we want to get that data from both parents and teachers so that we get an idea of the whole child. Referrals can be done by parents and teachers. Those are the 2 most common groups that refer, but also a student's peers or the counselors or administrators. Even students themselves can refer themselves for testing. Every middle and high school in the district has a GT coordinator who is the lead on identification. And at elementary, it is the GT specialist. So when you are ready to refer a student, that's who you would want to reach out to. If you're not sure who your person is, you can visit the Advanced Academics website for a list. There are 2 grade levels where we try and look at every student in that grade level. It's a universal screener, and it just helps us find kids that may often be overlooked in terms of referrals. In kindergarten, the GT specialist will begin teaching lessons in the fall to really stimulate that gifted thinking and start looking for, okay, we might need to test this student in January or February. And in second grade, we give all of those students the COGAT. And while it does help us find gifted learners, it also gives the classroom teacher a lot of data to make instructional decisions for all of his or her second grade students. So the identification process has 3 parts to it: referral, screening, and selection. The Texas State Plan for Gifted Education recommends that we have a balanced examination of assessment that is conducted, collected, and then used by that GT Campus Committee. The assessment criteria for Northwest includes looking at both quantitative and qualitative looking at, and for quantitative, we're looking at aptitude and we're looking at achievement. For qualitative, we're looking at parent and teacher input as well as student inventories. If you want to refer, referrals need to be made up to 2 weeks before the start of the testing window. And like I said, if you have questions or you want to refer somebody, please reach out to your GT specialist or coordinator. In Northwest, we also have a math acceleration program. It's for students who have finished kindergarten or beyond, and they can test to see, do they know the content and are they ready to move on. Students benefit from acceleration when it is appropriate, when they are allowed to accelerate based on their individual progress, when they are with older students, as long as the testing shows that there is a need for acceleration, students do benefit. You can, again, visit the NISD Credit by Exam website to see how math acceleration works. Testing is offered in the summer only, and if students meet the criteria, then what that means is the next year they are enrolled in their grade level, but when it comes time for math, they go to the next grade level for their instruction. Elementary teachers, if you think you have someone who would benefit from this service, then please reach out to your specialist first to talk through what this entails and what data you would need to collect, and then how you would communicate to parents. Professional development is another important piece in gifted education. The Texas State Plan talks about something called the 30 clock hours, and this is required for any teacher who provides any sort of instruction or services that are part of the program for gifted. So even though a student is pulled out or they have GT English or math in middle school, they are still being served in the classroom, whether it's honor science or honor social studies or in their third grade math class, because they're still a gifted learner. And as a teacher of record, you're still providing differentiation and meeting their academic needs in the classroom. So you would need to have the 30 hours. It's composed of these 5 strands. Nature and needs is really just helping you to understand who is the gifted learner, what makes them different from the atypical or from the typical student. And we look at special populations within gifted to see how the giftedness manifests itself. Then there's a strand about identification. So how do we find that gifted learner? And how can we provide access to programs? Then the last 3 strands are really about curriculum and instruction. There's a strand on creative and critical instructional strategies. There's a strand that focuses on how you can differentiate for the gifted learner. And then the third curriculum strand is about the depth and complexity framework. And all 3 of these strands obviously have their roots in gifted education, but many of the strategies are appropriate for all children. Just how you implement and how the students respond will look different. Then once you've completed your 30 hours, then the following summer and every summer after that, teachers do an annual 6-hour update just to maintain that gifted education. You have a lot of choice in Northwest when it comes to your update between online courses, hybrid book studies. There will always be sessions at Engage. Your campus may even offer something, and the offerings cover academic and social emotional and everything in between. It just, as it relates to gifted. Finally, your GT specialist is a support for you as well as students. Yes, the campus GT specialist, their priority, their primary objective is providing gate services and identification, but a GT specialist can also help you in terms of developing differentiated lessons or helping with small group instruction, modeling lessons, maybe with depth and complexity or a creative thinking strategy, and then also helping with clubs and extracurricular activities. And secondary, while you may not have a GT specialist, you do have GT teachers who are also experts and can offer you support as well, even if it's just saying, hey, have you checked out this resource? And then, in addition to the campus support, as your advanced academics coordinator, I am here to support you as well. And I hope that you will reach out when you have questions or concerns or you're looking for some resources. A couple of resources to get you started, just going to the district's advanced academics website. And then there's also a Google site with differentiation resources. It is a work in progress, but there are some things there to get you started. And you have now fulfilled the overview to gifted services in Northwest requirement. So, congratulations and welcome to Northwest ISD. I look forward to meeting you and working with you, and I hope to see you in the 30 hours next summer.